Hello everyone, David here. This is a little bit of a different video today. I'm recording in a different place and also using an overhead camera because I am going to take my brand new ROG Ally X and install a 4TB hard drive and also put on my D-brand screen protector. It's a very unscripted video. I'm just going to be fiddling with my new toy and you get to see how well I do that, and if indeed I manage to do it at all. I'm pretty confident because I replaced the hard drive in my other Ally, the original ROG Ally, and that went okay, and I think this is going to be similar, and I've read some guides online, so I kind of know what I'm doing. The drive I'll be replacing it with is this Crucial P3+. Can you see that? It's a 4TB SSD, so that will be very nice to have in the Ally, because I'm kind of just expecting to dump loads of games on here and also use it as my portable Windows computer, because I don't have a Windows laptop. I have a MacBook Air, but if I need to do some kind of PC stuff on the move, this is my only option at the moment, and I'd kind of like to keep it that way. I don't want to have to buy a PC laptop as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually put on the D-brand screen protector. This is not a sponsored video. I just got the D-brand one for my OG Ally as well and really liked it. They don't sort of like cause too much blurriness on the screen. And they're quite high quality, quite scratch resistant as well. The only thing is, I'm an absolute perfectionist when it comes to applying screen protectors. The problem is, I'm also not all that good at applying them. So let's just do the best job I can and see how it goes. All right, so I want to take this original Asus wrapping off. I remember doing this on my OG Ally, and they suggest you hold it by these two edges. And actually I found it was easier just to hold it like this and line it up. Okay. Right, oh, what a beautiful device. Okay, well, my first impressions are that I love it just as much as the original Ally. I think I slightly preferred the white color over this black, but I think this is great as well. Let's give the screen a quick wipe anyway, even though it should be pretty clean right now. Let's just minimize the amount of time the screen is exposed before it picks up any annoying bits of dust. So that is on that back side. Okay, so let's take the sticky back off. All right, time is really of the essence now. So I'm going to try and line this up. I'm guessing there is going to be a little bit of a border. That looks pretty good. Is it maybe slightly closer on the left than the right? I think it is. Let's see if I can just adjust that. Right, how was that? I'm going to give you this cool squeegee tool to get rid of any bubbles. I think it's not absolutely bang on perfect, so I'm gonna see how I feel about that. I might end up redoing it because D-brand sends you two, so I've got a spare one. But let's move on and get on with the actual SSD installation. Now, for the original Ally and the Ally X, they've got 5 removable screws and then 1 captive screw here. So I'm going to undo this, but I won't remove it. It will stay in the back cover. So let's get started. Okay, that's 1 screw out. I'm kind of trying to keep track of where they went as well, so that I can put them back into the same holes. I'm going to look for a different screwdriver with more of a flat Phillips head. Okay, this one is actually a nice snug fit. Does it say what size it is? Yeah, so I don't know if you can see that, but it says GRVP PH1, which I think means Phillips head 1. So I suggest size 1 Phillips head bit. Anything smaller and you do risk stripping the screws. Okay, I have one really stubborn screw here that just doesn't want to lift out. Despite the strong magnetism of this screwdriver, it does seem to be fully unscrewed. It's just, yeah, not lifting out. So I'm going to proceed with the other screws, and then maybe by loosening the case a bit, it might free that screw as well. Obviously, I'm going to be very careful how I do that. Okay, and just by undoing that captive screw, the case has been released a little bit along this edge. So what I'm going to use is one of these iFixit picks, and just with the wide edge, I'm going to get it in the gap and then just prise open the case a little bit. This is the point at which you really want to take your time and just kind of work your way around, because the last thing you want to do is damage you know, the edge of the case. And it is quite easily done. The Ally X has some quite fragile plastic in these areas. Okay, one thing you want to be careful when opening the ROG Ally X is that there is now a ribbon cable that connects the motherboard to this backplate. So you actually want to open it up and turn it to the right, a bit like opening a book from the back. I am very aware that this screw is still in. Let's just have another go at that. Hey, okay. Wow. Feels a bit more tricky to get the Ally X case off than it did with the original Ally. Okay. That was a bit more of a snappy click than I wanted, but okay, right, it's finally coming. I hope I haven't damaged any ribbon cables. It looks okay. Yeah, there we go, okay. This is the inside of the ROG Ally X. And what I want to do is replace this SSD in here. The default is a 1 terabyte SSD, which is pretty great actually. I mean, for 99% of people, that's probably enough for, you know, a few games. First of all, I want to disconnect the battery. With the original Ally, you pulled the plug out here, but that looks like it's part of the whole battery circuit now. So I don't really want to touch that. Instead, you're advised to remove the connector down here. And the good news is it's not actually that difficult. It has this little silver lock on it there. So what you do is, I've just got the iFixit spudger tool here. I'm just going to push this silver lock down. Yep, there it is. And then the battery connector lifts up. So I'm going to get the spudger underneath. Let's move this out of the way. Going to get the spudger underneath the battery connector and just sort of poke it up from the bottom. Not sure if that's exactly how you're supposed to do it, but it has worked for me. There we go. So that's the battery disconnected. Now we need to unscrew the SSD and put our new one in. So again, I'll grab the same Phillips head 1 screwdriver, and that fits. Again, a very tight screw on the SSD. Oh my good Asus. Who have they got screwing these in? The ROG? Okay, and tiny SSD screw there. Don't want to lose that, especially not on the motherboard. And I'm hoping this is going to kind of lift and pull out. I'm giving it a little bit of a wiggle, but I don't want to wiggle it too much because it's, you know, tiny connections. Okay, yeah, pulled that out. So you'll notice that the default drive has got this sticker on the top. And what you are supposed to do is remove this and stick it onto your new drive because it acts as a heat shield. This is literally just a sticker. So just in case this is acting as some kind of heat sink, I'm going to remove the sticker that's on the Crucial drive. And then I'll get the benefits of the heat sink on this drive as well. So got to make sure that the notch goes over the end where the screw will go. So something like that. Okay, and let's get this reinserted. Remember, there is a right way and a wrong way to insert an NVMe M.2 SSD, so make sure you get it with this little part of the connector at the top, and that should push in. Yeah, that made a nice little slotting sound. And then I'll reuse the screw that came with the Ally and just get that tightened down. And as you can see, I've labeled this ROG Ally X 1TB in case I need to put it back in the machine later if I want to sell it on. The nice thing is this will have the clean factory image on it, so I don't need to worry about wiping or resetting Windows. Okay, now I want to reconnect the battery, so this should just push down again onto this little latch. And then I'm going to use the spudger again just to push the lock back up. Okay, and that made a sort of very quiet, subtle sort of clicking noise. Okay, there we go. I think the main part of the operation is done. We now just want to put it back together, turn it on, and hope everything is working. So it probably won't turn on because I expect it's in kind of battery shipping mode. I think we need to plug it in to do that. Fortunately, I have a USB cable around here. Okay, that's not good. Let's open it up and see if there's some damage or something like that. Okay, I'm going to replug the battery connector again, just in case that was what was loose. And I'm also going to reseat the SSD, just in case one of these connections is not solid. Maybe I'm imagining it, but it felt like the SSD went in a bit further that time. Okay, will it let me plug it in while the case is open? It has come to life. So either the SSD or the battery connector was loose. All right. Yes, we have power. Okay, right. Let me get the captive screw screwed down. Okay, so what's happened is I have a previous image on this drive, and I think I'm going to have to do cloud recovery in order to get it back, because I didn't make a note of the BitLocker keys or anything. By the way, if you get to this point, you can probably go to Microsoft's BitLocker Recovery keys website, put in your key that appears on the screen, and then actually get a recovery key from that website, provided you use the same Microsoft account to log into your device before and after. But in this video, while I was recording, I kind of just wanted a fresh image and to start anew anyway. So that's what I did. But you don't have to go that route if you don't want to use cloud recovery. Okay, on with the video. So here's a good chance to demonstrate how you do that. So you want to restart it, basically. And the easiest way right now is going to be by holding down the power button so that it does a kind of complete shutdown. And then while you turn it back on, you want to keep hitting the volume up key, and that should let you into the BIOS. Yeah, I want to enter setup, and then from here I'm going to go into advanced mode by pressing Y, and then I think somewhere around here, yeah, Asus Cloud Recovery. I'm going to select that, and I have to view the policy and agree to some things. And this is going to take quite a long time. You probably want to put aside a couple of hours so that you can download the full image, and then it takes a long time to reinstall Windows and stuff as well. But yeah, here it is. It clearly has detected the drive. So unless there are any other problems, I'm kind of done. And now it's just a software setup. Yeah, that was it. That's how you replace the SSD in an ROG Ally X. It's not that difficult, but do take your time and try and do it right. And yeah, I'll stop the video and just come back at the end to let you know if it was actually successful or not. Okay, so it's now quite a long time later, and the Ally restarted a few times, and finally chucked me back into Windows. So let's go and have a look at the hard drive space now available. Yeah, 3.63 terabytes. And I do actually have a 1 terabyte micro SD card as well, that has got sort of all my ROMs and things on it. And then I've just got loads of storage. And I'm really happy for this to be my kind of do everything Windows device on the move. I don't intend to buy a separate Windows laptop. I'm kind of hoping to be able to use this for everything and just plug it into external monitors, use a wireless mouse and keyboard if I need to do something like game development. So, a very quick review of the device. It is a little bit heavier than the OG Ally, but hardly by much. I said in a previous video that the reason the original Ally had a small battery was because they were trying to keep the weight down, and it seems like they've achieved the impossible now and massively increased the capacity, doubling it, without increasing the weight by very much at all. And it still feels really comfortable to hold, nowhere near as bad as when I had that OG Ally with the massive battery pack hanging off the back. So I'm really pleased they've managed to do this. I think the controls are still very comfortable. I enjoyed the Ally 1 as well, but these seem just perfected with the stick tightness, and the face buttons are a bit more kind of clicky than before, but I think that's fine. The buttons on the back, I actually quite liked the big paddles of the OG Ally, but these are fine as well. Don't have a problem with them. In fact, it probably is slightly better to have these small paddles, but doesn't really make too much of a difference to me. Yeah, basically, I'm very excited about this device and very pleased to have it in this state. You may be wondering about the AllyMate grip, which I was very keen to use with my first Ally. Unfortunately, it doesn't attach to the Ally X. It just, the two vents at the back that it usually clips onto are in a slightly different position on the X. This is not going to work with an Ally X, but if you go to the Mechanism website, they do say that they are bringing out an Ally X Mate. So it will be able to be used in the future, but you'll have to buy a new grip, unfortunately. So that's it. That's my Ally X upgrading video. Please leave a comment if you'd like me to do a full review of the device. That's it from me. And yeah, leave a like on this video if you found it somehow entertaining. You can help me out by subscribing as well. Okay, right, I'm off to play some games. See you next time.